If politics existed in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, it would be Kushala Daora. His wind aura is like a politician after the election. He doesn't know you anymore. You see him, but you cannot get near him. There are too many layers between you and him. Bodyguards, secretaries, assistants, barriers. You get close, and suddenly a gust of wind appears from nowhere and pushes you away again. Then he takes a step backward, and you are back where you started. That was my first encounter with Kushala Daora, a 4-star village elder quest. Supposedly still easy. At least that was what I thought. Instead, I found myself staring at an elder dragon that felt completely unfair. Broken. Cheating. Impossible. How do you hunt a monster you cannot even touch? Bringing a ranged weapon would not help me. Knowing myself, Kushala would probably hit me with a wind attack before I could properly aim. The problem wasn't damage. The problem was access. I could see him, but I could not reach him. Like standing outside an important office after being told, "Please wait." For how long? Nobody knows. So eventually I gave up. Or at least I thought I did. Instead of fighting Kushala, I started exploring the snowy mountains. I gathered honey, mountain herbs, sunset herbs, anything useful, anything that could be sold for zenny or converted into POC points. I explored areas I normally ignored. I climbed ledges I normally ran past. I searched corners that seemed unimportant. And eventually, I found myself near the area where I first encountered Kushala. He was still there, guarding the path. Behind him was the narrow passage leading toward the summit. I remember thinking, seriously? I already gave up on you. I just want to reach the summit. Then Kushala roared, and somehow that roar felt personal, as if he was saying, "My mountain, farm somewhere else." Now that's a real politician. So I threw the supply poison knives. 1, 2, 3. Poison. Suddenly something changed. The wind aura disappeared. The bodyguards were gone. The secretary took the day off. For the first time I could approach him. Not forever, just temporarily. But it was enough. Enough to learn something. Enough to understand something. Enough to realize that the poison knives weren't random supply items. They were the key. The game had been trying to tell me something. I just wasn't ready to listen. Like every politician has a weakness. Kushala's weakness was poison. The wind barrier was not invincible. It simply required the correct answer. That day I learned more from not hunting Kushala than I did from trying to hunt him. Then he left the area. I slipped past, reached the summit, and found exactly what my instincts had been telling me to look for. Kushala's frozen skin, decayed dragon scales, rust stones, gold stones, Kazu whelps, resources, progress, possibility. I sprinted back toward camp while the Kazu whelps slowly drained my health. Even then I stopped to gather more honey on the way down. A hunter never wastes a trip. Back in POC village, I checked the forge. Poison battle axe. Interesting. Then I returned to the village elder, ready for another attempt. Except the quest was gone. Gone. Just like that. That was my first lesson about elder dragons. Freedom Unite does not care about your schedule. The quest appears when it appears. The quest disappears when it disappears. The mountain decides, not you. At first that feels unfair. Later you realize it feels a lot like life. Some opportunities are not denied. They are postponed. There is a difference. When I was younger, I had to work while studying. I could not take as many units as other students. I paid for my own tuition. I paid for my own daily expenses. Other students could focus entirely on school. I could not. At the time it felt like I was falling behind. Now I realize I was simply walking a different road. Life was not saying no. Life was saying, not yet. The same thing applies to relationships. When I was younger, My aunt worried that I would get a girlfriend pregnant before graduation. Now, decades later, she asks me when I plan to get married. Life is funny that way. The timing changes. The priorities change. The mountain changes. Or perhaps the mountain never changes. Perhaps we do. So I continued progressing. I developed the farm, gathered resources, forged equipment, completed quests, learned, failed, improved, and eventually something happened. Black Diablo's armor, Dragon Wind Negate, Rathian Longsword, poison, knowledge, experience. The pieces finally came together. And when Kushala Daora appeared again, I returned. Not as the hunter who first met him, as someone else, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more complete. Then the quest was cleared. For years I thought this was a story about preparation. Now I realize it wasn't. Preparation was only part of it. Because preparation alone is not enough. Many people are prepared. Many people work hard. Many people sacrifice. Many people wait. The world owes them nothing. At the same time, opportunity alone is not enough. An opportunity arriving before you are ready is merely another form of failure. Kushala taught me something different. Something I did not understand until much later. You must prepare. But preparation alone does not open the mountain. You must wait. But waiting alone does not open the mountain. You must grow into the kind of hunter capable of receiving what once rejected you. That is what Kushala was testing all along. Not my weapon, not my armor, not my damage. Me. And when I finally returned to the mountain, I could almost hear the wind speaking. Not loudly, not proudly, almost as a whisper. You wanted this hunt the first time you came here. You were prepared to fight, but not yet worthy to receive it. And only then did I understand. The mountain was never keeping me out. The mountain was waiting for me to become worthy of entering. 20 years later, I no longer think Kushala Daora was testing my weapon, or my armor, or my skill. I think he was teaching me a lesson that would take me decades to understand. There are things in life you can desire with all your heart and still not receive. There are things in life that are offered to you before you are ready. Both lead to disappointment. Being prepared is not enough. Being chosen is not enough. You must be prepared and chosen. 20 years ago, I thought Kushala Daora was standing between me and the mountain. Now I think the mountain was standing between me and myself. Waiting, not for a stronger hunter, but for a worthy one.